Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. Gonna ring some bells here. They may be a little loud. If you're sensitive, you may want to turn your volume down and we'll see what comes through. So in the very beginning, I've never done this before, but with the right bell, after I rung it, I would start to do this. And it reminded me of using it as like a pendulum. And when I was doing that, it was changing the tone in my ear. Uh, so when we think of that, if I was going to do a pendulum, and I'm asking a question. If you ever done it before, it, you could say, hey, this is yes, and this is no. But you have to be honest. You can't move it. You have to let the energy move it. And when it does get moving, we can look at this as trying to, it felt like I'm trying to change the outcome of something than what it is. I want a truth, or I want it to be something that's not, because whatever the outcome was or whatever I know to be true, I didn't want it that way, or I didn't like it that way. So I want it to be different than what it really is. Uh, which I get that, depending on what it is. We wanted it something to go a certain way, or we wanted something to be true because the word benefit is coming out, but it could also be uh, it was going to bring some sort of emotion in that we would have really enjoyed, or that we wanted, or that we perceived it was going to do. Uh, it's given that idea of, redirection isn't rejection, it's protection kind of aspect. Uh, but we really don't ever see that until the new came in to replace it, or the puzzle pieces came together to make sense. So we'll see what else we got going on here. Nine of Wands reversed. Vulnerability, whether we were in or we were in a state, someone was going to take advantage of this. Our purity, our promise, our loyalty, exploit it, however we can look at it. So it was protection. But we're bummed out about it. We didn't like the outcome. We had the emotion attached to it. It's given that feeling of, uh, like, man, I really wanted this, or whether it was a relationship or a job or a living situation or a partnership, whatever it was connected to, uh, it feels like we're like just a good person, like an honest person, loyal person, and everything we were saying or feeling towards this situation was really true. And I feel like there was some alternative motives or some malicious intent behind it. And even if it was a job, uh, some jobs, I should say most jobs, uh, were just a placeholder. We're just a number. We're only as good as the money that we can make them. And when we care a lot, or we lead with that, what are we? Same thing in a relationship. Uh, Sometimes just want to get in somebody's pants, or benefit somehow. Like they can do something, they can help me with something, or that shoulder to cry on for a bit, or I just want a meal ticket for the night. And I'll say anything because I'm just a rancid person. The Hermit, introspection, reflecting on this, going into a place to actually see the truth. Why? Uh, we could, we probably can't let it go, because obviously we're searching for answers on it, of why was this taken from me, or why didn't this work out? I really wanted this. I was excited for this. This seemed like a good prospect. Otherwise, we would just be able to let it go. So it was important to us. It was attached to a feeling, an emotion that I would imagine had a good reasoning behind it. I'm not saying that it's connected this way, but let's just say like somebody was right about something that we didn't like, and we wanted to be right. that's connected to, what inside, something that we need pride for, or an egotistical driven aspect. Through this reflection, we can see what we may have been holding inside that is possibly an insecurity, a wound, a complex, something in there that this was going to make better, that it was going to make it all okay. Why did we want it so bad? And why didn't we get it? Other big thing is what can we learn from this? Everything is a learning process. A Ten of Cups, a family union. This probably looked that way. It probably looked like that complete fulfillment. Maybe that's what we're hunting for, we're searching for. And this is, as we perceived it, the doorway to it. This was going to get us there. This was going to, it was it. And it wasn't. And I can see why I wouldn't want to let go of that either. Now we got two here. So the first one out is Nine of Cups reversed, reassessment. And then we had the Queen of Cups, emotional wisdom. Reassessment first gave the tone of, is this really what we wanted? And I think in our mind right now it is. But I don't think it is deep down inside. Maybe it's the way that we viewed it, that this is the way to get it or to obtain it, or this is the process as society reflects, or the internet shows us that, hey, if you have this, you'll have a smile like me, and you'll have all of this or that. But it had an emotion attached to it, and that's what I wanted in the end, that emotion. It wasn't so much the material, but I thought that the material or the experience or the relationship was the way. Through this hermit mode, we'll be gaining emotional wisdom. Maybe there was red flags that we didn't see in the beginning, and we might be starting to see them, but we haven't put all the puzzle pieces together. But working backwards to see how this wasn't a good fit, and getting that relief of understanding why it didn't work out is this beautiful circle of understanding through the process, from going from the grief and the letdown to the understanding and the thankfulness at the end. Three of Swords reversed, healed wounds. Looking at this, and I also feel like it's not out, but like looking at the world and like being in a cycle, being in an unhealed experience, and that this may have exploited that more. Maybe we're halfway through that process, and this would have taken us back instead of forward. It was an unsafe experience. It was going back to the old when we're being pushed into the new. It's interesting. I have 5 cards laid out here, and I put this underneath the Hermit. So healing this in this space is through looking inward. This card came out and spun out sideways. 4 of Swords, solitude, restlessness, looking at being right in the middle. The need to rest, but trying to get back to this. I need this. I want to do this. I'm going to work towards this, but I really need to catch my breath, take a break. How can we remove it? Something like that, that might be like a life goal. It might have been what we were putting all of our energy into, thinking that's the end all be all. Once I'm there, it'll all be better. It'll all be okay. I'll finally be there. Earlier this morning, something came to mind that kind of touches on this, and it's the idea of constantly getting into situations and maybe walk into them. It doesn't have to be 100%, but they might be a mess, and then cleaning them up and doing all this creation, but then leaving at that point and never actually being able to enjoy it or to get to that end all be all. That's what this card right then and there was giving this. Like, if I get all the ducks in a row and I finally get there, I'll finally be able to sit down and like relax, and I'll finally be comfortable and happy and fulfilled, and everything will be perfect. And constantly chasing that idea. Well, what happens then? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with feeling that or experiencing that, but this is just further introspection. If we're chasing the end all be all, why can't we have that now? It's our perception that I have to have X, Y, or Z before I can feel that, before I can have that, before I can experience that, before I allow myself to be content. And I'm not saying that we should give up or surrender to the circumstance and settle, I guess is the main word I'm trying to say here. But if we're looking for this fulfillment in the end, or peace, happiness, joy, uh, and we're categorizing the way that we're allowed to feel that way, or be okay to be that way, or to feel that way, or it has to be, dot, 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 dot on the list. Something to think about. We'll get one last card here, Spirit. And we got two. First one out, Page of Swords, Truth Seeker. And then the Hanged Man, New Paradigm. Our view, our perspective will always change when we finally see the truth. The truth, our belief, is whatever we believe until it changes. That's the beauty of life. We have all probably came from a place of being asleep to an extent, to the world, to society, to people, to ourselves. And eventually, through time, if we have chosen a certain direction or path, we begin to unearth this. We begin to see, and we begin to understand things about ourselves and other people and other situations. And through that, our belief would change. And then we see things completely differently, the opposite of how we may have seen them before. And through this, the truth is underneath reassessment, and the Hanged Man, New Paradigm, is through emotional wisdom. I feel, I guess the word I would say is elated. I have nice chills. I feel very enlightened. I feel comfortable. I feel happy just by seeing it a different way. And this is done not through physical action, not through money, not through transfer. It is inside and just self-reflection. Through this, we see something completely different to get to that place. I'll leave this here. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later. See you.